Well, as promised by Donald Trump, documents relating to the Kennedy assassination have been leaked. And interestingly, not a lot of it actually has anything to do with his assassination. Much of it has a lot to do with Cuba and what the United States was plotting to do to Cuba at the time. The National Security Council meeting notes over the CIA covert program Operation Mongoose, which was the program set up to carry out terrorism against Cuba for daring to have a revolution in their country and overthrowing the puppet Batista. Now, a lot of it revealed exactly how far the U.S. was willing to go to try to sabotage the country, including targeted acts against Soviet citizens that were inside the country. Now, in 1962, there was a file that was released Thursday from, a stack of other files that have been released surrounding the assassination of JFK, states that the National Security Council considered attacking and harassing Soviet personnel within Cuba. But there really isn't any finer details that have been provided on it. Maybe those are in other documents, or maybe they were never actually specified to begin with. Now, members of the council also debated targeting the nation's crops by introducing biological agents which would appear to be of natural origins. In other words, the United States considered sabotaging the food source of Cuba, possibly killing scores of people, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people by depleting their own food source, by infecting them with biological agents. That's the real United States here. That's the real face of the, we don't like Castro because supposed human rights violations. Yet here they were, plotting to kill possibly hundreds of thousands of people just because the country turned away from U.S. influence. And this is the real face of U.S. imperialism. This is the U.S. empire that a lot of people don't like to admit is right there. This is what was going on at the time. Now, this whole, bioweapon idea was supported by the then National Security Council advisor, McGeorge Bundy. Mr. Bundy said that he had no worries about any such sabotage, which could clearly be made to appear as a result of the local Cuban dissatisfaction or of a natural disaster, but we must avoid external activities such as release of chemicals, etc., unless they could be completely covered up, the document read. So we can see what kind of people we're actually dealing with. This is the face of the United States, the ones that proclaim to be so concerned about human rights across the world and denounce others for having committed violations, both real and imagined. Now, the NSC also explored the possibility of infiltrating Cuban radio stations and TV stations, but acting on the advice of a council member and former broadcast journalist Edward R. Murrow, they decided against the move. So at least we're thankful in that regard, and we're thankful that they didn't decide to completely mass murder Cubans and destroy all their crops. But this shows the utter depths of inhumanity that lies behind the empire. And this is one of the things that Che Guevara spoke about. The United States is the belly of the beast. This is the beast that imperialism turns men into. This is a product of capitalism that cannot stand for someone else to be away from their interests. This is about capitalism. This is about economics. And this is about the imperialist struggle over Cuba after having gotten away with it. And I think, hopefully, this shows more people who are in denial of the existence of U.S. imperialism just how much of a monstrous face and monstrous entity U.S. imperialism really is. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.